Yeah, it's been another big weekend from a reading point of view, and also quite a lot of contemplation, really, around, I suppose, two particular things that I'm working on currently. Um, One is a question I was asked the other day, and I'm really kind of just getting to the meat of it, really. And that was a question around trust. And it was put to me, who do you trust? There's a lot of things going on in the world these days, as everyone's well aware. And there are people who have had relationships or, I don't know, business dealings or, um, just times in their life when they've felt as though they could probably never trust anybody again. Um, and so when it comes down to who do you trust, I started thinking about this. And you know, what I'm trying to do at the moment, I suppose, is build a model whereby if you wanted to change something in your life, then you follow a particular route, or you could do if you wanted to. And the way that I'm looking at it at the moment is I'm trying to create this model. And from the videos that I've done, the model kind of is taking shape now. It starts, as I've said a couple of times before, with the pillars of peace, which are forgiveness, love, openness, and self-worth. This floss logo, followed by compassion. Um, being a sort of a foundation stone on top of those, being compassionate in your the way that you operate. Uh, Moving on from that, then we looked to add acceptance to this. So accepting your circumstances, not being at war with your circumstances all the time. This builds in this idea that you're sort of finally taking back the controls. And I think basically trust sits on top of that. So at some point, you've got to take responsibility, i.e., accepting where you are. But then you've got to trust in your ability to change. So I suppose you're setting the foundations and then moving into the trust element of it. Now, there's lots of ways that I suppose people would look at trust. You could say, well, trust me, I'm a doctor, or, trust me, I'm a politician. Um, People have trust in their partners, their spouse, their wife, their husband, their family, their brothers, their sisters, their cousins, their grandparents. People have trust, generally speaking. But it comes down, I think, really to a point where if you are trying to change something and you are accepting your circumstances, then you've also got to take responsibility for that change. And you've got to trust in yourself to make the changes that are appropriate to the kind of life that you envision going forward. So I suppose trust does sit in its rightful place there on this model that I'm trying to create. And I suppose trust and honesty go hand in hand as well, because I think you've got to be honest with yourself. If you're the kind of person that says, yes, I've done all this inner work, but deep down I know that I'm not gonna do half of it, or I'm not really, when it comes down to it, committed, I suppose, to the work that in some cases these changes require. Um, and if you look to the outer, if you say, well, I can't trust anybody around, I can't trust politicians, I can't trust, the wider world, the larger group. Um, I think, when you look at, there's a really good quote by a lady called Margaret Mead, and she said basically, never doubt that a group of thoughtful, committed individuals have the ability to change the world. Um, Indeed, it's all that ever has. So it doesn't have to be large groups of people that come together to make a change. You could be in a community of like-minded people, for example, on this page, maybe, or other pages, that people are creating, in order to, I suppose, instigate some kind of good, good vibe feeling. I know there is a lot of work done by peacekeepers around the world and that kind of thing. But generally speaking, I think it doesn't have to be these big groups of people. Um, So, just moving back to this trust thing, and being committed to something. There was another, to add to this, there was another quote that I got from Marianne Williamson, whose primary work, I suppose, has been with A Course in Miracles. And it's quite so profound again from her that I started to look at this trust aspect, this idea that you have to trust in your own ability at the end of the day to make the change, to do the work prior to having a better life. And her quote was from A Course in Miracles, and it was basically around this idea that only what you yourself are not giving can be lacking in any situation. I thought, wow, if you look at that, really, you look at, say, for example, you're in a relationship struggle. We always like to hang blame, I suppose, on other people. We always like to say, well, it's my outer circumstances that have caused me to be in this position. And yet we're very slow, I suppose, to turn the mirror on ourselves and say, well, what am I not giving in this situation? What am I not contributing to? Maybe I am indeed contributing to the very lack that I'm trying to guard against. So, a very, very good weekend actually so far for me in these two things. So the trust thing is, I suppose, a question. Leave a question hanging in the air there. Who is it that you trust? And the second part of that would be, well, you have to be honest with yourself, and what is it that you yourself are not giving in any situation that might be lacking. So there we go. Lots and lots of reading to do, I'm sure, over the weekend and the week coming, and plenty more videos to come. But yeah, lots and lots of thinking to be done.